Now, you and Hafeez, right?
Okay.
So listen though. So Hafeez tried to warn us about Pearl, and he pretty much ruined his career. Right? What the hell?
I haven't heard anything from Hafeez in a long time.
Huh?
I haven't heard from him in a long time.
You-
I haven't seen him doing much of anything.
Listen, cause after the second Pearl debate with Value Team, and he could have just disappeared, right? So one, do you feel like the Red Pill or the Manosphere owe Hafeez an apology for how they treated him based on his debates with Pearl? Cause after that, he was forced to put out an apology for going off on her or right? Because he put out a Manosphere I'm sorry video, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I even saw that one. But what I've seen of Hafeez is, first of all, he's afraid to say my name.
Oh, really?
Number
Why?
one. I don't know. You
Why?
would have to ask him that.
Hafeez, come on, man. You're supposed to say your name, man.
Well, whenever Pearl brings my name up, he kind of chomps at the bit. I saw him actually on with Dr. Godsod, who was actually, I really like Dr. Godsod. But it was funny because it seemed like the interview that he was having with Godsod was all sort of directed to try to sort of get Godsod to sort of disown the Manosphere, and he's trying to say, well, there's this guy, I don't know what his name is, and he's got this book out, and he's like, I don't know if he's legit. Do you know who I'm talking about? And I know he was trying to get Godsod to say Rollo Tomassi, right? Yeah. Godsod looks at the camera and goes, "You mean Andrew Tate?" And I was like, oh my God, so. But I think that when you got guys like Hafeez, whose again their ideological sort of, I say biases, but their investments, their ego investments in their beliefs, once that conflicts with, say, the Red Pill, I've said this before with very religious guys. One of the I have my fourth book was called Religion. I wrote specifically for that audience about this. But I think that one of the things that really pisses off sort of the religious set is that it took pickup artists and it took Red Pill guys and Rollo Tomassi to point out what's going on in their churches. And they, in some cases, I run into people who go, "Thank you for saying this," and then in other cases, I have people get really pissed off because they want to say, "Well, my religion is the real Red Pill, and let me explain to you why. My God can beat up your God," kind of thing, and I think it's really kind of goes back to, it kind of stings to have somebody who's outside of the church pointing and saying, here's why there's no guys in your church right now. Here's why guys are leaving the church to find the man. Where did they go? They went to the Manosphere. So they see that and they want to find some way to sort of invest themselves or to sort of work their way into the Manosphere to turn it into their own personal men's ministry. And I think that when you got a guy like Hafeez, who's very brand oriented, another guy, and we're all grifters. He's definitely a grifter in this sense.
The grifter, right?
Well, I maybe not good. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't believe what he thinks. I'm sure he
in the
does.
good sense, though.
I'm sure he would pass a polygraph test if you asked him, does he believe this stuff? I have no doubt. But the problem is what happens is the empirical evidence, the empirical truth, the studies and everything else. It really kind of rubs people like that, not just Hafeez, but of that mindset, very much the wrong way.
Absolutely.
And so they have to sort of make it their personal crusade to sort of try to take down the Manosphere or have those, when you have Pearl, who's ostensibly a representative of the Red Pill, she's a soft target. He's not going to come at me because he knows I'll run the table with him, but he'll go after Pearl. Yeah. And Pearl is not really good at defending Red Pill points. She's good at repeating stuff.
Absolutely.
She's a fast follower, but she's not an innovator, and she does not have the background in it necessary to defend those points. He knows that, so he can go and get a soft target. So if Hafeez ever wanted to do a debate, I'd be happy to. But I don't really even like to call it a debate. It's more of like a conversation, right? Nobody debates anything anymore. We just have this, here's why I disagree with what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But when he's making his points, whether it's with Adam Sosnick or he's with Pearl or wherever he happens to be, I think it's more of like catharsis for him. He wants to sort of like say that he did something to sort of push back against this.
Yeah.
He just got married, I think, 2 years ago,
Mm.
and I think a lot of times it's sort of like this attempt to sort of reaffirm the decisions that he's made for himself. And I'm not saying that they're bad decisions, because I've been married. I've been married for 27 years, or coming up on 27 years right now.
Yeah.
I am the TradCon's dream when it comes to like whatever their representation of the red pill is, but I run into this paradox where it's like Rollo Tomassi can't be red pill because he's married, and then the trad comes, well, he can't be married because he's red pill, right?
Yeah.
And I'm stuck in the middle. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go do what I'm gonna do.
Even facts, man. Now, all right. So one, why do you think like there's so much pushback against Hafeez, right? Because is it like just his like?
Is there pushback against him? I don't know.
Listen. Like his career right now,
I haven't really seen him do much of anything recently.
Yes, right. Yeah, right. Yes, right. And like whenever he like does something, though, the entire like comment section is, oh, like he's long winded. He like he talks to
he filibusters is what he does, especially when he does. Well, I think again, it's what I call confident ignorance.
Yeah.
People want to say, oh, those red pill guys say this. I'm like, who? First of all, who are you talking about? And second of all, no, we don't say that. In fact, I can show you. I've been doing this for 20 some odd years. I know you're full of shit. And I know that, and it's not that you're stupid.
Yeah.
He's not stupid.
No,
Destiny's not stupid. A lot of the guys who come at me are not dumb. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance, right? Stupidity means you just don't have the IQ, you don't have the mechanics to actually process the shit. Ignorance just means you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And like there are things that I'm ignorant about. I'm very much ignorant about
like what?
Maybe the technology stuff. Maybe I don't know. The weather. I don't know. I'm not astrophysics. I'm ignorant about those things, but I'm not so full of myself that I'll go, well, let me see, I'm gonna be able to speak knowledgeably about everything.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't know something, even on my show, I'll say, look, I don't know that, but I'll find out, and then we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
I'm not above saying I don't know what I'm talking about. But then when you got people who are like confident in their ignorance, they like I can point out and say like they don't know what they're talking about. They would rather straw man points. They would rather straw man the red pill. They would rather straw man the manosphere, whatever else, and then move on to the next topic, because they get the yucks, they get the laughs, the laugh track goes off, and then they move on to the next topic. Because that's good content for what it is that they're doing. But it doesn't do anything to educate anyone. It doesn't do anything to equip them, and it doesn't do anything to give them the tools that they need to change their lives. They get a quick dopamine hit, and they laugh at it, and then they move on to the next topic. And that's never been what I've been about.
Yeah. And what was you and him like first running? Like
Hafeez or
yeah. Here, right? Like in terms of when did he like come on in your radar to where now you're making videos,
Oh, I saw him when he was on The Roommates, actually. I'll tell you what's funny, that I actually was pretty impressed with him in the beginning.
Really?
Because he was on The Roommates, and I remember seeing him on with Candace Owens, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I forget. Is he still in The Roommates? Is he still with his partner, that guy who was his partner on The Roommates?
I only see like the light skinned dude interview like athletes now, like right, like yeah. So I don't see him there no more.
Is that even a thing? Is it just Hafeez now, or is it still The Roommates?
The last video that he made was the apology to the manosphere.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't even.
That was like 6 months ago. Yeah.
I'll tell you, if it doesn't show up in my impressions on YouTube, I probably didn't see it. But I remember seeing him and his partner on Fresh and Fit. And they were there for the after hours, and they would have, they had some disagreements, of course, but it was always civil, and it was always, I was always on point for whatever the topic happened to be.
Yeah, of course.
I saw him, he was on the after hours show at least twice, and I saw this, and I was like, he was actually holding these girls accountable. It's like Ab and Preach, when they went on Fresh and Fit for the first time, they were all about it. Everybody wanted to be part of that. Everybody wanted to be like to tell these girls what's what. They wanted to hold women accountable. And then right around August of 2021, when all these allegations started coming out, and Albin Preach came at Myron and Fresh, then we saw what's happening kind of now on a smaller scale then, a larger scale now, is all these people who wanted to be a part of that, suddenly we don't want to be red pill. That wasn't really us.
Yeah, those guys hate women.
And so when you look at like say Hafeez in like, what was it, April or May of 2021, and then you look at Hafeez in April of 2022, that's a different dude.
Absolutely.
It's a completely different vibe going on there. And maybe it's because he got married. Maybe it's because his business model changed because he wanted to have sort of this, here's we're all gonna dress up nice and we're gonna Black Manosphere, right?
Yeah.
We want to be the best version of ourselves, kind of thing. And it was a pivot to a different kind of a narrative, I guess, for him. But prior to that, if you go and you look at the episodes where he's on the After Hour show with Fresh and Fit, it's a totally different guy, and he sounds like he's all about it.
Oh
too.
wow. Listen, I gotta check that out, man.
All right, so you see it. We just hit 500K. You know what that means? That means you gotta subscribe and get us to 600K because we are dangerously close to 666K. Let's go.